I'm expecting higher prices to come on Bitcoin next week. And that's for three very simple reasons. That's what I want to talk about in this update. But first, if you recap what happened since our previous update, if you remember, Bitcoin was around $57,000. And I outlined two major levels. The first one was this resistance area that came in just above $58,100. And the second one was a level that Bitcoin had to break to show strength, which came in around $60,000. So what happened if I go on the lower time frames? We got an initial move up on Bitcoin and then a rejection. And when I saw this imbalance, that was a sign of weakness in my opinion, and I wanted to see this candle act as resistance. And what happened? Price came back up, rejected this candle, and that's where I opened a short position with an entry price just above $56,200. Now, if you go back to the charts, my target was this imbalance, which was on the 1 hour chart. So this one that came in below this low at 52,000, if I just highlight it, at $52,500. So what I wanted to see was a move down, a test of this imbalance, and then a reversal to the upside. Now, unfortunately, Bitcoin actually bottomed above $54,000 and then reversed to the upside, so stopped me out of my short position pretty much for a break-even trade. And then what happened after that? We got the move up into our major resistance. If I go on the 15-minute chart, we got this move on the big imbalance. When I saw this, I opened a short position, again, as you can see, at about $58,200. What happened there again? We got a very nice move down, but my target was again this imbalance which came in below this low at $56,500. But price just front run my take profit one, reversed to the upside, and again I got stopped out of my short pretty much for another break-even trade. So at this point, I realized that the market wasn't offering any significant drop, and it was very clear that it was not favoring short positions. So when we got the move higher, my target was $64,000. If you go back to the charts, and I just remove these levels quickly, so as you can see, if I go on the higher time frames, the major area at $64,000 hasn't been reached yet, but I do expect it to get reached pretty easily next week. And that's for three main reasons. The first one is, as I said, a break above this level is a big sign of strength on Bitcoin. And the second reason is very simple. As usual, you have imbalances. We got the break above $60,000 with imbalances. And yesterday, the low of this imbalance at $59,500 got retested perfectly and is now offering a bounce to the upside. So just with these two reasons, at least in my view, you could already expect higher prices on Bitcoin. However, we do also have one additional element of confluence, and this would be the Elliott wave count of this move up. Now, usually personally, I don't count Elliott waves on lower time frames simply because I don't find it very useful. But when they're very clear, I do take advantage of them. And what you have here is a clear count in my opinion. After this bottom, we have a wave 1 which was put in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and the wave 5 is an ending diagonal in an A, B, C, G, E. So that's the wave 1 of the impulse. We have a very obvious wave 2 for another move to the upside. But at this point, that's where I see two different scenarios. The first one, if I just simplify it for you, so as we said, we have a 1, 2. The first scenario is that this was the wave 3. So we have 3, 4, and now Bitcoin will move up in a wave 5 and reach this imbalance at around $64,000. So if Bitcoin is following this path, meaning the wave 3 is already put in, I do see a very high chance that price will reject this candle again at around $64,000. And what you'll have is a wave 1, a wave 2, and then a wave 3 for a move higher later in the future. But then the second scenario is that the wave 3 is actually not put in yet. So what we'll have in this case is a wave 1, a wave 2, and all of this is still part of the wave 3. So if Bitcoin is able to move up and break this area, then what you'll have in my view is a wave 3 towards this imbalance at around $69,000, then a rejection in a wave 4, and then a wave 5 higher for a break of $70,000. And that's mainly what I'm looking for on the Elliott wave side, which gives me even more confidence that price will go higher. With that said, we do also have a bearish count that I want you to be aware of. And that would be that this move up is a 3-wave move, which means that it's a corrective move, and what we'll get after that is an impulsive move to the downside and a break back below this low at $49,000. Now personally, I don't think that this scenario is very likely, simply because, as I said, a break above this area was a nice sign of strength. However, we do have confluence at this level with the first bullish count and the bearish count. And that's why I believe that this candle at around $64,000 will be very important if revisited. With that said, if Bitcoin actually moves down from here and loses the low of this candle, which comes in at $57,200, then in my view, this would be a very big sign of weakness, and I would expect a break back below $49,000. But at this point, as I said, what I would like to see first is a move towards this imbalance, and then we'll see what happens. If we get a break above it, it would be a very bullish sign. However, if we do get a rejection, we could see a bigger drop on the charts. With that said, that was mainly it for this update. And as usual, if you have any questions, I'm available inside the Discord. So see you soon everyone, and good luck.